And welcome back. Well, earlier in the show, we heard from CommonGround volunteer Joan Ruskamp on how cattle use land to produce an important protein for consumers.
And now Joan is back with a recipe to share, and today she has a special dessert using a fall favorite, apples.
Well, here on Pure Nebraska, we are always interested in a good recipe, and we have one now. Joining us again is Joan Ruskamp, CommonGround volunteer. Joan, good to see you again.
Yep, I have an apple recipe, and it's called Apple Clafoutis. First, we're going to start with the apples. We're going to start just softening them up a little bit. And in the recipe, it doesn't ask you to mix the cinnamon and brown sugar together, but I do it because it's harder to do in the skillet. And you'll need a cast iron skillet, and you're going to put that butter in there and start letting it melt. And then we're going to add the brown sugar and cinnamon to that, and then a little bit of water. And while that's going to be melting and getting ready, we're going to make the custard portion. The custard is made up of 4 eggs, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. The brown sugar and eggs are mixed up, and then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of vanilla. And we're going to mix this up really well. Now I'm going to put in my flour. I've got a 30 cup of flour here, and I can hear my butter's pretty well melted over here. I'll drop in my brown sugar and cinnamon. They ask you to put the apples in with it. And what you want to do is just kind of let this heat for about 10 or 15 minutes just to get a little softness on the apples. Now back to this mixture. We're going to gradually pour in some milk. All right, once this custard is mixed, and let's say you've had this on for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I know I haven't, but we're going to just show what you will do. You'll just pour this custard right into it. You're going to just take your skillet, whole skillet, and put it in your oven. For I put it at 30 minutes and then check it. And if it needs a few minutes, you want it a little brown on the top. If it's not quite brown, but just put it in for a few minutes. That's just the oven differences. And now I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, like I said, I transferred it to this glass baking dish, and I have baked it in here, and it did work. And what you want to do before you serve it is just kind of tap some powdered sugar over it. Honestly, this was probably a new favorite for us. Without the crust, it's just great to eat.
Boy, that looks good. Thank you, Joan, for sharing that recipe with us, and can't wait to try it.
And you can make it and try it for yourself. The recipe is on our Pure Nebraska Facebook page.
All right.